This is Kobe, a Michigan teenager. He's trying to avoid the fate of two of his brothers. They went from school to prison.
It's so easy to get caught up in the school-to-prison pipeline. So the school-to-prison pipeline is everywhere, literally. Everywhere.
Kobe was popular and made the school honors list, but there was a negative side to his life. He was being pulled in two directions. Kobe grew up in a tough neighborhood in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
It's a low-income community, poverty, and so a lot of crime.
Few people have got killed out here. It's been breaking-ins out here.
Kobe is the second youngest of his mother's 9 children.
He has one brother that's currently incarcerated in a state prison. He has another brother who has been incarcerated multiple times. I believe he's actually on parole right now. His brothers were getting really involved into what happens in the street life and those kind of things. That could be selling drugs, that could be robberies. And I know that that's been something that he's been talking about trying to stay out of the street life and those kind of things. I do know at one point Kobe was getting involved into those kind of activities.
His mother says she became briefly homeless when she lost a federal low-rent subsidy.
Went in the shelter and stayed in the shelter for probably 45 days.
It was a lot at the time going on with Mom. Housing was a concern, employment was a concern, transportation was a concern. So when all those challenges are there and you have nine kids, like it's easy for things to slip through the cracks. You're trying to find ways to make ends meet. So not to say that education became the back burner, but it just wasn't as reinforced as much as it could have been.
Kobe spent part of his childhood in Ypsilanti with his godmother, not his mother.
She had other siblings that she needed to take care of, and for one, I just felt like I was helping out. And I kind of thought that he might take the wrong path, when he went back home to his mama.
Kobe's mom and dad were separated.
Even though his dad is supportive of Kobe, but it's more supporting from a distance.
Fathers are very key, especially black fathers. You play a major role in black lives. And so not having a father figure or someone there to protect you and make sure that you're secure is hard.
He was an angry little boy. Jacoby would be so explosive to the point that he would have to go home because they would think that maybe something else would happen.
Kobe actually got expelled at 8 years old. 8.
I got expelled for bringing the weapon to school. The principal had came to me and he checked me. They had a pocket knife on me this time.
It was devastating. It was devastating.
After all the negative things in Kobe's life, something positive came in the form of a mentor named Anel. He worked at the Student Advocacy Center. It helps troubled students. Anel helped Kobe for 4 years.
So I got this referral back in April of 2015 when he was in 8th grade and he was 14 years old. But when I got his case, it was because of all the suspensions that he had, and then it was also from his probation officer at the time. He got into an altercation with the school resource officer. He was put on probation for that. When I first picked up Kobe's case, he was struggling with math and reading. Those scores were really low.
F's, 29%, 18%.
His overall engagement in the school, his motivation to be in school, all of that was very low.
At one point, he didn't want to go no more. He had gave up and he just wanted to basically drop out.
So all of that combined with suspensions and former expulsions and those kind of things really set him up to enter the school-to-prison pipeline. I was able to really work with him about, again, going back to the point of the importance of your education. And I think with Kobe, there was a moment where it kind of dawned on him that he wasn't as skilled as he would like to be educationally. And once he kind of realized that a little deeper than what he thought he was, that just kind of flicked the switch with him.
And then we just started doing work one day. He like, bro, we gotta do this work. He come grab me like, you hungry? That's how you get me. Just do this work.
So all you gotta do is just make sure you keep using that thought process of how I'm gonna achieve these goals, how am I gonna maneuver this system, how am I gonna do, and bro, I ain't gotta worry about you. Straight up.
Anel drove Kobe to and from school. He also helped Kobe explore the outside world.
The fruit that we
nigga.
Right, because he got it. Oh, like, what do you mean?
And both of my brothers ain't even broke 150.
We just updated our list actually, so we have some new things on there. So when we bottom of this list, there's like.
Oh, it can rank here. It's over. She blessed me.
And actually, we are changing the.
So the Detroit Auto Show was really awesome to be able to connect with them on. It really gets him to see like all the different cars, obviously, but it also gets him to see like how the cars are, or how the engines are in the cars. That's just one of the things that I know that it's part of his interests and it's part of his goals. So just trying to give him more exposure about how to be able to see what you could potentially do with those kind of things is kind of where I always try to come into play at, is trying to give him more exposure.
They took me to my first game, took me to my first 2 baseball games.
We've also been to Minnesota together for a conference, the national coalition that works to end the school-to-prison pipeline.
Took me to the Capitol of Lansing. I met the governor. The first time I ever met anybody like in a higher rank of power ever in my life.
Anel found public speaking opportunities for him. Kobe told audiences about his determination to succeed.
Nothing is like bridges and rivers you got to get through. You can't do it. Cause like it was stuff that I felt like myself, I found myself saying, I can't do this no more. I can't, but you can take it. You can do it. You can go farther. You can go harder. You can't give up.
And when Anel came into his life, I was happy to know that, because I just felt that things would change for him. It could be like a big brother for him, someone else for him to talk to and to help him mold him into a man that I know that he could become.
Having that male figure, somebody to look up to, somebody that looks like you, skin-wise, facial-wise, those kind of things. But having that male figure, and I think for Kobe, that was actually a lot of what happened with him once he was able to have a male role model in his life, a positive male role model in his life, then he was able to really take off.
Anel helped place Kobe in an alternative school, a school for students who need more individual attention. The school has small classes. Some classrooms have couches, like a living room.
This is a family feel here. It's family-oriented. We love on them. We love them because students in general have a lack of love, a lack of understanding, and we take out the time to understand them and love them and hug them and tell them we love them.
And the principal author of the Bill of Rights.
James Madison.
Without this alternative school, what would happen to these students?
One of the answers is they end up in prison or they end up dead.
Despite Kobe's progress, there were some bumps in the road. On a day he was supposed to do peer mentoring in school, Kobe was not there. He had been sent home for smelling of marijuana.
That was me. Ain't nobody else to blame for that.
But I think what this shows, though, man, is just the simple fact of if something happens, it happened, it's over, it's done with, move on.
I'm only 18, you know what I'm saying? I don't got everything figured out.
In October of his senior year, Kobe got into a fight on a bus and was arrested.
There was an older gentleman, older white gentleman who stood over top of him and kind of was in an intimidating force that was, just hovering over him. And he really felt as though that he needed to protect himself in that situation.
He touched me a couple times physically, pushed me out in the seat. If y'all saying I punched him, man, I did punch him. Y'all got it on camera. Okay, I'm guilty of that. But there was other stuff that was being said that I wasn't guilty of. Nobody jumped nobody. And it was things in there I felt that was racial.
He was held at the Washington County Sheriff's Department, and I believe he was only there for maybe 6 or 7 hours. He wasn't there too long, but he was there long enough to know that's not a place he wanted to go back to.
Kobe was determined to stay out of trouble and finish high school.
So seeing him trying to come out of the situation that I've come out of myself, I think that I try to give him a lot of words of encouragement.
Kobe was among the students at an honors lunch. His grades improved, but not enough to guarantee graduation. By the spring of his senior year, Kobe still had not done enough work to graduate on time. He got a warning letter.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this yesterday, though. You said you had worked on a plan for yourself to get the English done.
Okay, so I don't want to see no more of those letters.
But if you read the letter at the top, it says
I want a letter that says Kobe is on graduation, getting ready to graduate, and on track for graduation.
Not turning work in. It's that simple.
His quarter 2 grade is pretty low.
I think he's actually maybe 2 credits shy of where he should be.
So of course there's a chance that Kobe won't graduate.
Cause like it was stuff that I felt like myself, I found myself saying, I can't do this no more. I can't, but you can take it, you can do it, you can go farther, you can go harder. You can't give up.
Kobe's got the willpower to get it done, and I want to see him walk across that stage.
I know I'm gonna graduate on time. That's all to it. If I don't graduate on time, I won't graduate at all. It's now or never. And it gotta be now.
Finally, the word came down. Anel sent a text.
I like to cry.
We've achieved all of our goals that we wanted to do together, and for Kobe, he's definitely shown the ability to achieve anything that he wants to achieve, anything that he dreams of achieving.
Oh my God, I'm about to cry. I really believe that, Anel, that you made a big difference in Jacoby's life. Oh my gosh, it makes me feel so proud. It makes you know that it was worth your time that you put into this child. It helps you understand that I knew that he could do it, but it just needed the right person to be placed in that child's life to help them be successful.
I love you. Me too.
Although Kobe did graduate, family and friends still worried about the dangers ahead.
In this community, it could be like a flip of a coin. It's a 50-50 chance. You could easily, turn into something that's not productive.
Him getting involved with drugs with the wrong crowd.
To the wrong crowd or get involved with the wrong activity.
In fact, the day after graduation, he was in court on an assault charge from the incident on the bus. He received probation and a $500 fine. Kobe said the lesson he learned from this was that he had to control his anger.
It's like I got 2 different sides, I can be real smooth, and then when you flip that switch, it's like, oh, you just flipped hell over. They better not turn that switch on.
You better turn it off.
Even after graduation, they stayed in touch, and Anel was still there to help in big ways.
If you give yourself enough time to stick to your plans and stick to your goals, bro, you gonna figure out what you like and what you don't like and what you really want to do, and you gonna go get it.
And in small ways, even advising Kobe on how to brush his teeth before going to work at a warehouse.
Make sure you get those back teeth, though, man. You know how you don't be getting all the way back there.
Despite his uncertain future, family and friends were glad that Kobe achieved the success that he did achieve.
So I'm hoping that Kobe can be my first son, that does something, that go far and do something with his diploma.
With drive and motivation and also relationships, that can really deter a student from entering the school-to-prison pipeline. He really shows us how we could definitely end the pipeline through mentoring and through relationship building.
Because I'm in a life that's still moving, I'm going to try to change the way it moves, basically. And that just sums up the impact of one person. Because think about it, 4 years ago, if Anel came to me to be my advocate and I didn't like him, or if I didn't see something in him, or if I didn't take a trust into him, I wouldn't be who I am today.